And we are live. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Mate, Teep Muay Thai.
Yeah.
The famous Muay Thai meme page on Instagram. And if people don't know, they'll know about it after this. But we were just chatting about how I came to know much more about you. And the meme with the work on your defense with the water squirt, 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10. Really, I should put it up. But man, yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
But mate, so tell us a bit about yourself. What you're working on, what you do with yourself, and how you ended up where you are. Because you sort of, to get to the amount of people that are watching your stuff and following you, it takes a lot of work and dedication, a lot of time building content. But man, floor's yours. Go for it.
Yeah, it does take a lot of work. I think
get a little bit closer.
Sorry. It does take a lot of work. I think when you see a very well executed piece of content, what you tend not to see is the amount of effort that goes behind it, the inspiration you need to know to put it, the vibe you got to put through the content, the video editing skills. The marketing skills. So the way it essentially all started is that I used to actually run a yoga page, right? The idea was that we were going to start a yoga platform, where you can come in and learn vinyasa, Ashtanga Vinyasa yoga, which is a very mobile, strength-based style of yoga.
How different is that to Bikram or just regular?
It's very different. You're moving and you're breathing at the same time. It's very strength-based. Have you ever seen those yoga, those yoga flows where there's people just doing crazy things and they're moving in and out of poses?
Yeah, I have.
It's like that. And I posted consistently shit content for 5 years straight. One of the biggest learning lessons, you ever heard of the survivorship bias? You only ever hear about the people who win. And you always hear about, had I started Instagram early? I started Instagram early and I posted religiously 2-3 times a day for 5 years and never went anywhere because the idea was I wanted to do something with it, bring yoga to the online world. So after that, we had the lockdowns that they came in. I saw mandates coming in. I saw all these different things coming in. And then I was like, okay, well, my real calling was always martial arts. It was always Muay Thai. I started it when I was about 13 years old. Awesome. Been doing it for a long time. And I wanted to inspire a new generation of people to jump into Muay Thai, but I wanted to get a message across to them from a different angle. Social media is a very hectic place.
It is.
Right? It's intensely competitive. It's like walking into a loud room and you're trying to get your message over across all these people talking at one person. And I need to get my message across over to that person there. And I need to do it in a way where they can look at my stuff, they can consume it, they can understand it. So initially I started off with unoriginal content for a year and a half, as in posting up movies, martial arts things that I watched with my dad growing up, your Van Dammes, your Bloodsport, Kickboxer, with the message that, hey, this type of content is the stuff that got a lot of people my age, so I'm 38 now, into Muay Thai, and I wanted to share that. And then what happened was that purely by chance, I came across a piece of content on Instagram where this person had labeled it making tea, doing how boxers make tea in the morning.
Okay,
That's one of my first videos. I don't know if you noticed that.
I think I've seen that one. Yeah.
That was one of my first videos. And so I looked at it. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I can do this. I was a bit demotivated from the whole yoga thing because I didn't do too well in it.
Yeah.
I think I can do this. And that's how it all started. I put that one out. I got really good responses to it. So then I started making a habit of consistently filming and posting in order to show, if you look at the bio of my thing, the lighter side of a savage sport to inspire people to take up the sport. And now it's grown to a point where I get a lot of messages every day. People telling me, oh, thank you. You're the, since I've watched your stuff, I've taken up Muay Thai.
Oh, no way.
It's inspired me
That's
to do
awesome.
my first Muay Thai boxing class, stuff like that.
It's martial arts, especially in Australia. It's a very, it's a very overwhelming process if you've never done it.
Yeah.
And from experience, when I jumped into BJJ, no one with me. So, you try something new, you have a mate that goes with you. You sort of share an interest. It makes it easier. You sort of relate well. I just walked into this gym because it was in Weatherall Park, actually. signed up and did a couple of sessions there. Wasn't too bad. Got injured or whatever, and then just parked it. Had kids and things just spiraled and COVID and everything else. But jumping into it, it's a very difficult process because I grew up playing like soccer and footy and team sports and sport where it's a more of a less confronting sport where it's not one-on-one in your face. When you're wrestling or rolling with people or fighting with people, it's that one-on-one combat where it makes it all different.
Yeah.
So I know in Australia it's not big, it's not huge. Other parts of the world it is, but here we play cricket, we play soccer, we play footy. So learning it or getting into it's very challenging because you got to really overcome that fear of that combat and that one-on-one person, literally just doing what you're trying to do, and it's just who's got the bigger balls at the end of the day, or who's trained more prepared, or whatever else it is. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's good. It's good that people are joining. Getting into it based on what you're posting, like
that was the initial idea, and I understand what you're saying. So, when you start putting out content and stuff, essentially what you're doing, you're talking to the market, and you start to get feedback from that. And what I found was that I found that there was a lot of people who were very intimidated to start Muay Thai because what you tend to see,
that's the word, intimidated.
Yeah, what I tend to see in a lot of Muay Thai boxing content when I'm on socials is that I see a lot of hardcore training. I see a lot of fighting. And statistically speaking, right, most people who take up boxing, Muay Thai, don't want to fight. They just want to do it for the love of training. That was my initial slogan, for the love of training, actually. They want to do it for the love of training. A lot of people
don't actually want to compete. They just want to actually train and learn the form of it because it's such a good sport. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and what I want to do is I want to come at a different angle to talk to these people. So you got really the hardcore training, the hardcore fighting, and they got their own people that they talk to. And I'm like, there's a whole market here of people who really want to do it, very intimidated to start. So I want to speak to these people. So I want to show them content that shows them a lighter side of the sport. So they're like, oh, you know what? It's not as intimidating as I thought. Yeah, I'm going to go start it. So I work really hard to get that message across to the point where, I'm posting on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Then I'm going live on TikTok every morning, every night as well. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour at night.
So it's just a lot of time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
And then that's the actual content. Like to build a video, I mean, I'm nowhere near anywhere. Like I hands up, I'm very basic when it comes to tech. I don't pay anyone to do it. I just for recordings and stuff. Yeah, but Instagram posting, I've tried it. Anyways, I need to spend more time, but I don't really have it. But it takes time to refine it and get it right and cut and copy and chop it all up and put the music and then the image. Oh mate, it takes so many goes to get it right. And have you ever found that you make one and then you spend all this time and you're like, fuck, this isn't even that good? Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me. Anyways, go.
Only, to be honest, I'll be honest, we've only done it. It's only happened a couple of times. Yeah, actually. In terms of the time, I agree with you. One of the things I do believe in, it takes a team to work to make the dream work. Yeah, 100%. So I got my wife. She films everything. She's kind of like the director, the videographer. I show her the inspiration. Yeah. Of the I show her the inspiration. Look, see this energy we got in this video, and she can remember things like that. Yeah, that's so she only needs to look at it once. I have to look at it like 5-6 times, and she looks at it. She understands the energy of it. She understands the angles it's coming at, and then she puts me into the right position. She goes, "No, you got to be here. You got to do that."
I see. It's good. You got
and then I do all the chopping, the editing, which takes a couple of hours. There's only been a couple where after we've done it, I was like, I actually don't like that one because I don't like the message. More so, I don't like the message it comes across. And some of them we have done, I'm like, you know what? The sound hasn't been good. It's too poor quality. You get penalized on poor quality stuff.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
So I'm like, so that's only the two realms. If the quality of it's poor or the message is poor. And I had one video where I actually canned it, where, you get a lot of trolls in fighting. Right, you get a lot of them.
Anything online, it's only online, right? But anyways, but in fighting, definitely.
You get a lot, and I understand it's a very primal thing, right? It talks to the most primal nature of you, so I understand where the differing opinion comes from. Yeah. And then you get the other level, which is a lot of trolls. So I had a video about trolls, right? And the video was that it was just some really, really overweight guy. Like he was really overweight. And I'm sitting on a couch. I've put a pillow under here, and I've got a big, massive cake on top of my belly. And and I'm stuffing my face and I'm bagging out the fighters. Like I'm just saying random stuff. But then I was like, no, I don't like this message because a lot of trolls actually don't really look like that, you know? And there could be people who want to do Muay Thai and they probably feel like maybe I've, you know, taken like, you know, a hit at them. So I always want people leaving my page feeling good, having fun, you know, feeling inspired.
That's it. That's good. No, I like it, man. I like it. And what was your, like, were you born into Muay Thai? Like, was your father like similar training into it, and that's how you got into it, or how did it all start for you?
The way it all started. So I wasn't born into it. Coming from an Assyrian background, right? So I'm Assyrian, and with Assyrians, like if you know how to fight, you know, like growing up, you know how to fight. They go, "Oh, look at this kid, he's strong, man." You know, you get an ego boost. Oh, look at him, you know. And then sitting with my dad, he used to make us watch the hard targets, you know, Van Damme hard target, Bloodsport, kickboxing. And what happened was my parents used to drive us. My mum used to drive me to school, and on the way to school, there was a kickboxing gym on the way called, I will never forget it, Thunder Legs Muay Thai gym. And it was a picture of these big guys with big ripped legs. And I just saw these ripped legs. And I was like, I want to be like that. So I told my mum, you know, I want to go train there.
And were your parents hesitant? Was your mum hesitant?
No, I don't think she understood. I don't think she understood it.
But see, like my parents understood combat. They weren't really into the martial arts. So my dad was even iffy about rugby league. Like they were too, you know, overprotective. But they didn't really get the gist of it. So I guess that's fine.
So that's how it started. And then I went in there. I was 13. We did it for about 3 years. There from 13, 16. Then, you know, school kind of got in the way. You know, had to study and all that stuff. But it was an awesome 3 years, trained really hard. I think the guy who taught us, like the guy who trained us, when he used to make us spar, he used to go like, it's full contact, like a full-on fight. So we used to go...
13, 14?
Yeah, so we used to go at each other. And he had me sparring like 18, 19-year-old guys who were beating the living shit out of me.
Yeah, what?
You know?
No way.
And,
shit.
Yeah. And then I took a break. And then from there, I trained again from 20 to 23.
Yeah.
Took another break.
Then how much are you training? Like 2-3 days a week? More?
Now I'm doing boxing. I'm 38 now, so it's a bit harder. So now I'm doing boxing. I'm doing that with my coach from the Lab Fitness Training. He runs an awesome gym in Ashcroft. He's a big Samoan guy, like bloody strong.
Awesome.
I'm doing that with him once a week, and then I train 2 times a week on my own. And then the other stuff, I'm doing things around longevity of my body because I'm getting older. You know, I don't want to be...
Well, not that old, but...
Yeah. I don't want to be one of those, like, I think because, like, we got a daughter and I want to be running around with her. I want to be playing with her.
Yeah.
I don't want to not be able to run around with her and, like, you know, have bad hips, bad knees.
Yeah.
So I really manage my training. So you're doing about 3 times a week, right?
Nice.
And then the other is, like, yoga and weights.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. As you get a bit older, mobility becomes a bit more of a problem. Stretching, I know, man, I need to do it more, but stretching is so good. And it's, in the mornings, man, especially as you get older, your hips start to get a bit tighter. And growing up, I played so much sport, you know, you'd always stretch and never a problem. As you get older, you start to really feel the difference. And I'm 34 this year, nearly for 34. But definitely noticed as the 30s kick in, the body just starts to change, you know, with regards to how it recovers and everything else. But yeah, man, awesome, man. So you're sort of, you know, part-time in the Muay Thai and boxing and training, and then you're working on this page, which has really started to take off. And also, you're getting into the YouTube now, you were saying earlier. Have you got the page open already on YouTube?
Yeah, so the page is open right now on YouTube. I'm repurposing what I've done on Insta and TikTok into the YouTube, but the idea is to keep the page going until I figure out longer form content. Because right now, you know, if anyone has kids, a lot of your time is spent, like, you know, spending time with your kids and stuff like that. But the idea is that I keep it going, and then when the time is right, first of all, the time is never right, by the way. You just got to do it.
Just got to do it. Yeah, exactly, man. Good point. Good point.
But when I do have the time, is that I want to do longer form content, as in go to the different Muay Thai gyms, train there, talk to the fighters, go to Muay Thai camps in Thailand, vlog that.
You've done that already?
Yeah, I've done the Muay Thai. I haven't vlogged it, but I've trained that in Thailand.
Yeah, how was that?
Is amazing experience.
Yeah, awesome. Was it a week?
No, so I did I did 1 week at one Muay Thai camp, and I did a month at another.
Oh, nice.
A month is hard, and one of the biggest obstacles you have at a Muay Thai camp is your recovery. The training is very intense. You can do the training at your leisure, like when you want. You don't have to train all the time.
Yeah.
But you're there for a month. You want to make the use of it. You will come back extremely conditioned, extremely fit, extremely conditioned.
Yeah.
Usually the training's 2 times a week. You run in the morning, you come back, you do your pad work, you do your clinching, you do your sparring.
Oh, just twice a week.
No, sorry, 2 times a day.
I was going to say, I'll tell you, twice a week isn't too bad. You know? Go to Thailand, have a few drinks, train twice a week.
Some people did that. Some people training did that, and they were messed. It's like there's no point in you coming.
Yeah, twice a day. If you're really going to do it, but you're going to do it properly. Because when I was younger, I knew some guys that did it. They actually went. I don't know if they did a month or a week or 2 weeks with some camps. But man, that's definitely going to be a very different experience, because we're just going there just to fight. And I'd imagine, having gone to Thailand a few times, you know, they love it. It's all they breathe and live and breathe it. So, awesome, man. So you've had a bit of an experience in everything.
Yeah.
Getting into the years where you really want to create some wealth there. I know I'm similar boat. It's a long game. Just trying to really build it and grow it, and find the right content and all that other fun stuff that comes with it.
Yeah. The idea is that I always had a belief where with these pages is that always have to be, whatever you put out kind of has to be in service to others.
Yeah.
So you always got to put out something of value. At the end of the day, whatever you're putting out really falls into 3 categories: inspirational, educational, entertainment. Right? I'm kind of more the entertainment. 3 of they all can intersect. You got people like the Liver King, entertainment and inspirational. You know, you got people like Andrew Tate, who's probably entertainment. He's probably a little bit of free, more entertainment, I'd say. But
what do you think of him? He's an interesting guy, isn't he?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think he's an absolute genius at social media. Yeah. He's used affiliate marketing to really get his name out.
Yeah, he has.
Because he's used all his students to pump out his content left, right, and center. I think he knows how the game works. He purposely says polarizing, controversial things to get the algorithm to work in his favor. At the end of the day, the way it works is that, so a lot of people like to focus on the algorithm, right? They're like, oh, I got to, put the right hashtags, make it a certain length. The right way to look at it is you got to focus on human psychology. Whatever you put out has to evoke an emotion in someone, right? That is the crux of everything you put out. It either has to evoke an emotion of anger. They look at your stuff, right? And they're like, what the hell is this? It makes them angry. Or an emotion of inspiration. I want to go train. I want to go do this. I want to go hard. Makes them laugh. It has to evoke an emotion, because everyone's vying for that person's attention.
Yeah, gotcha. So you really want to have a focus on a purpose. And I agree 100% to your point about not doing it for anyone but your audience. Yeah. All the content you're building shouldn't be for you. Like, really, it's at the end of the day, you've got a goal where you want to help people form a sort of bond with Muay Thai and break down that barrier of that intimidating, process of getting into it. And once you know what your purpose is, man, you're right. Your content, it becomes, you really want to focus on the people, because, and in the last couple of years that we've had as well have been pretty treacherous with lockdowns and everything associated with all that shit we had for a couple of years. People want to have something to look forward to, or to laugh about, or to enjoy. So no, man, totally love it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So what's next for you? So because you're getting some traction. What are you sort of, are you doing any type of courses, or you're learning anything on the site to try and build it, or is there anyone you're sort of mentoring or following to get inspiration from? Like how do you sort of navigate through it?
Yeah. So the next steps are I'll be putting up. So there's a couple of things. There'll be a Teep Muay Thai website coming up that is sort of like merchandise space that'll be related to what I do.
Yeah.
So things like shirts, your singlets, your shorts, all that stuff. So a lot of people have been asking for those. So I'll be putting that up. The other things will be that my boxing coach, I was talking to him, I want to put up an online boxing training course, mainly targeted at people who don't have access to the gym. I get a lot of messages from people who don't have access to a gym. They want to train, but they don't know where to start. They don't know what to learn.
Yeah, that's such a big one too. Because you can go into a gym where you do weights and then hit a boxing bag, but for all you know, you're not hitting the bag right. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's awesome, man. That's really good.
And look, it's not like the best thing you can do is go into a gym, a Muay Thai gym, a boxing gym to learn. Hands down, absolute best thing you can do. But if you don't have access to one and you still want to learn it, then this will be the second best thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm probably going to hit up my ex-Muay Thai trainer, collab with him on an online course, because I get a lot of people asking the same thing about Muay Thai. They want to learn it. They don't have access to a gym. I'm like, well, here's the best thing for you. And then that will be the three main goals going forward in the next year or so that I see.
Awesome.
They're the three main goals.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And the idea is just to spread the message as far as possible, as wide as possible, through all social media platforms.
And I guess with people wanting to get into it, what's the main thing that's going to be the biggest challenge at the beginning? Is it the conditioning the body? Is it the fitness? Is it, wearing down the certain parts of the shins and the elbows and the hands just to get that body ready for combat? Like, because I know there's a lot of people that would probably be hesitant based on whether they don't want to get hit or they don't want to have to, roll their shins or run up and down hills. Like, what do you sort of, from your experience, what do you think is the biggest hurdles in the beginning?
The biggest hurdles I've found from people that I've talked to is that they feel like they're going to rock in there and they're going to look like an idiot and not know anything that they're doing, which is 100% true.
Yeah.
Right? First time I went in there, I threw a punch and almost fell over.
Yeah.
Like I leaned into the...
Oh, yeah, you know what? So true. So true. I remember going 100 miles an hour, gassing myself in my first session because I didn't know how to manage the gas tank because you're just so full of adrenaline and this new experience. Yeah, so definitely that's a good one. I actually didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that it will expose your cardio, right?
Yep.
Your cardio is you're gonna realize how bad your cardio is, right? And then the third thing it will expose, and not many people realize it will expose your mindset. And that will be based on your first two. So you will realize your first two, and you'll have two groups of people. You'll have one type of person who will say, you know what, my technique is bad, my cardio is bad, but there's all these weapons inside the gym, and I'm going to get to that one day. So you're going to have that person.
Yeah.
Then the next person is going to be like, oh, you know what, I'm completely shit at this. Their perceived rate of success they believe for themselves is low compared to the amount of work they have to put in, and they're not going to come back, right? So what
That's too hard, yeah.
Yeah, what I tend to say to people is that I give them my experience. When I went in, I was terrible. I felt like I wanted to throw up. But every Olympian swimmer was once a shit swimmer. Every Olympian sprinter was once a shit sprinter. I'm not going to say you're going to be an Olympian, but you get the idea of the message. And
100%, yeah.
what it does, and I think the reason why some people take the combat part so much to heart if they're not good, is that combat calls to the most primal nature of you, right? It exposes the most primal nature of you.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah, like if you can't fight, if you feel like you're really bad at fighting, it like can potentially, you tell yourself this story that the most primal nature of you is weak.
Yeah, this subconscious belief gets zapped because you don't have that instinct or you don't feel like you have that instinct.
Exactly. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know they have the ability until they have to. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
When they're put into a situation and they have to throw hands, they don't know that they can until they have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so true, man. Like the intimidation and that getting familiar and getting comfortable being uncomfortable is probably one of the big ones. Because you're right, there's so many, you walk into a gym and you see so many guys in there that know what they're doing and you just feel like the biggest idiot.
Yeah.
You're just you can just tell how many years these guys have been training just by the way they're hitting the bag and you're like, oh shit, okay, this is going to be interesting. Like, dude, my first jiu-jitsu lesson had no idea to bow, the process of like, no idea. The first 15 minutes of the warm-up, I was like hadn't trained, was smoking cigarettes, but for that month, in talking to the fitness aspect of what you were talking about with, what you'll notice improvements of, man, I noticed in the 2 weeks leading up to that, till I started, I basically just quit cigarettes. And within 2 weeks, I noticed my gas tank just started growing.
Yeah.
Bit by bit, incrementally. And it was just I got really comfortable with that feeling of being uncomfortable. It was actually good because I got to roll with different people every time, and you're learning from this guy and that guy in different belt classes and everything else. So you're really starting to.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes fun. But yeah, it's just getting that first couple of lessons or first couple of classes out of the way. And like taking someone with you, like if you can get someone that's interested as well, it might help. I don't know, just because walking into a place where you don't know anyone can be daunting for some people as well.
Yeah, with that, I would say probably better. I would say probably better to go on your own because then you might start relying to always be going with a person.
Yeah, hey, good point.
I'd say 100%
good point.
Go on your own because at the end of the day, like Muay Thai gyms, Muay Thai culture, boxing gyms culture, I'm sure BJJ Academy, they have some of the best cultures. Gym cultures around. Everyone's very helpful.
Yeah.
If you need help, they will help you progress. Everyone is in there to get better. Everyone's in there to get stronger.
I learned that.
Yeah.
I learned that.
Also, the other thing is what I find is the last thing was that a lot of people are afraid to get hit. And what I tell people is that, look, you're only going to get really hit two ways. If you want to become a fighter, right, which you don't have to be. Like, I'm not a fighter. I just love the training of it.
Yeah.
I tell people, think of me as, you got a bodybuilder not a bodybuilder, someone who loves to weight train and they take it religiously. They're eating the weight training. I do that for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Right? So you
only ever genuinely love it,
Yeah. You only ever get hit if you're going to become a fighter or if you're going to go sparring. Sparring is a separate class. You don't need to spar and you don't need to be a fighter. You can simply go there and train and love it and meet people. Some of the best times I ever had was with the people I met at a Muay Thai gym. It's and a lot of people I speak to, when they rock in, they always say it's one of the best decisions they ever made. But if you are going to go, I always recommend go on your own.
That's a good point.
Yeah, don't go with someone. It's kind of like traveling. Travel on your own as well. Do that for once.
Never done that. I've traveled to a destination to meet people, but I've never traveled by myself never done that.
Yeah, traveling on your own is good. It's
a good experience because you're forced to having to just meet everyone and get comfortable with people you don't know, right? In a completely different country, depending where you go.
Yeah. It also allows you to be yourself more. Maybe if your friend comes, you're worried about how your friend's going to look at you.
Yeah.
They're going to analyze you. Go by yourself.
We're very strange, aren't we, humans? We're very worried about perception, how we appear on the outside. It's such an interesting... I feel like we focus so much on the outside rather than focusing on the inside. And I've spoken to, got a lot of mates we all train. I'm not by any means addicted to training, like anything like that with, lifting weights or anything. But I find now people focus far more on the look rather than on getting stronger. Like I find that when I work out, I want to really get better on the inside, and the byproduct is the body. You get your 100%. Muscles. Where we flipped it, and that's why people take steroids, right? They take the shortcut of just getting that look, that physique, have that the way the shirt fits on the body. Yeah. Rather than actually put the work in to get better inside, so that it's better. You have a better outcome for life rather than just cut the get to the cut the corner.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's focusing on what's important and what the goal, and for me anyway, it's health and really
health first.
Definitely, man.
First.
Definitely having children. I've got kids as well, so you want to have that longevity for your children.
Yeah.
And I really got into BJJ so I can get my kids into it. I feel like it's good to know that you can handle yourself as you're growing
100%.
up. As a young boy or girl. Peer pressure, bullying, so many more forms. Like I'm 34, so I'm a couple of years younger than you, but we would have grown up in a similar day where your only bullying was in the schoolyard. There was no online bullying, and whatever it was, it would get sorted like outside in the playground.
There was online bullying. It was, I don't know if anyone remembers Merc.
Merc, no,
MIRC. It was like Discord. It's an online chat program.
Bro,
a lot of fights started from
MSN, that. MSN Messenger was...
It was on at the same time.
Okay, no, so I was MSN. So MSN, Bebo, MySpace. Yeah. But that was when the glory days... When was the internet out? In 95?
Yeah, 94, 95, I believe.
Something like...
It became available to public.
Yeah, and then because we had the Y2K thing in 2000. Yeah, so... Yeah, in the early days... There was no, I didn't have this Merc. I didn't even know what it is. But MSN Messenger was my thing back with social media. But what was Merc? I don't know.
Yeah, so it was an online chat program where essentially you're sending back, you got a channel. Yeah. You see everyone talking, and then you can private chat people. And a lot of fights started from that. Literally a lot of fights in the area started because of that, because someone would say something, some smart
On the online chat.
So this has been going on for ages. It's just that, you know what social media has done, that the tech we have now has now allowed it to reach a much more broader audience and exposed it a lot more, to the point where you can't switch it off. Then I could switch off, someone could switch off Mo. It's not a big deal. Right now, socials is literally it's going to be a part of your life, right? And you could, it's very hard to switch off, so if you're getting online bullied, there's that urge to go check, what's happening on social. Has this person said something else about me?
Yeah.
And, I get it. I don't get bullied. I don't get bullied. I get a lot of trolls as well. I get a lot of people that I know would never dare in their life say it to my face, would never do it. I get random people taking time out of their day to come to me that don't even follow me to tell me I'm shit, I'm a flop, I'm a wanker, my Instagram sucks. Some pencil neck, this pencil neck nerd comes up to me telling me my Instagram sucks. I'm like, so does yours. And he's like, oh, you're insecure much, bro. I'm like, dude, you took time out of your day to complain to me.
Okay, I have to say, I only sometimes feel compelled to say something to a stranger.
Yeah.
If it's something obnoxiously weird.
Yeah.
If this person identifies as a fry pan, I could be like, dude, come on. You know what I mean? That's what I'm going to say something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if you're just trying to have a laugh, which is pretty much what your page is about.
Yeah.
It's making taking the humor out of a sport which is pretty brutal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's very brutal, actually.
Yeah.
And making it funny. And the sitcom clips, I fucking love those ones.
Yeah.
The sitcom, there are 3 parts, right? I think there's 3.
There's 3. There's a boxing one as well.
I haven't seen
and a BJJ one.
I need to see it, but I've seen the sitcom ones. But just, again, that type of content. And people will go out of their way. And I laughed before because I just find it hilarious how people can do that.
Yeah.
They've got nothing better to do. It costs nothing to be kind.
Yeah.
Probably costs you more of your own energy to be negative to someone that's just having a crack. Yeah. You're just having a go, like everyone else is.
I think the safety behind your phone is real. I've experienced that one time. I tell this story sometimes. I was driving down a road. I was driving down a road in Fairfield.
Yeah.
And this P-plater was driving the other way, and he just randomly stuck his finger up at me. I was, what the... dude, you don't even know me. I could be an absolute psycho.
You could be a serial killer.
So I just stopped my car. I go, you know what? I'm going to teach his little punk a lesson. So I stopped my car. I did one of those U-turn burnouts, and I chased this guy down. I'm going to teach this little prick a lesson. I chased him down.
He would have shit himself.
He went into a cul-de-sac. I go, I'm not letting this guy go. And I drove head-on into him. I stopped right before obviously. And I death-stared him, and I went to get out of the car, and he put his head down, and I looked to the side, and he had his mum in the car, and she had a look of horror in her face. So that was like, you know what, I'll probably leave it. I think he's learned his lesson.
Yeah, you know what? Nice of you to do that. Because if our mums... But again, why do you do it? Why are you sticking your finger up? It's just...
Yeah, exactly. Weird. It's because he's the safety behind... He had the safety of his car. People online are behind the safety of their phones. It's a bit of a weird concept. But at the end of the day, what I found was that when it comes to them, specifically trolls, it means that the thing is evoking or triggering a certain emotion in them that they don't like. Maybe they look at me and they see me having a lot of fun with what I'm doing. Maybe there was someone who tried to do it.
And they compare it to themselves.
It didn't work out for them. Maybe they're trying to make it in the fight game. It's not working out. So they see someone like me who's not a fighter, and it's kind of like having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the internet's created so much more of that.
Yeah.
It never used to be, I guess it's so integrated into our lives now, as you said.
Yeah.
All the apps from TikTok to bloody Insta, any of them.
It will get worse. With Metaverse, it's going to get worse. Dude. Metaverse will allow you to look and be the person you always wanted to be once you're in the virtual world, and I can't see people disconnecting from that. Because if you're someone who doesn't like the way you look, doesn't like the way you talk, because social media has made it that the 1%ers are all on social media, like the ones at the top, as in, the really fit, the ripped, the shredded. And if anyone weight trains properly and naturally, it's extremely hard to be big and shredded.
It's years of training and dedication.
It's a lot. And
exactly. Yeah.
We see that these people will see that, and they'll be like, well, you know what? The metaverse, I can change how I look.
It's sad, isn't it?
I can look a certain way. I don't really have to go out in public, this and that. So it will get more intense.
What do you think about the metaverse?
I think it will have its good... I think social media and the metaverse will have its good points. Social media has its good points. It has its bad points. Its good points is that it can give the right people a voice. Its bad points is it can give the wrong people a voice, right?
It gives everyone a voice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a dependent, or it's incumbent on the people that are listening, whether it goes further or not, whether it goes viral or not. And that comes down to, the morality of everyone watching the video.
Yeah, yeah.
But sorry, yeah, in the metaverse, so you were saying.
Yeah, with the metaverse, I feel like I'm not really into it, to be honest. I've seen it. I'm sure it's going to absolutely take off. And if you're a business, I feel like if you don't get into it, like you might get left behind.
Yeah.
Because it's now going to be a much, much easier way to connect. But I feel like at the same time, because of the metaverse, industries like mental health, psychology, those type of industries will absolutely take off, because I feel like you'll start to see a lot of those disorders coming up as well.
Man, you touched on a point, and I agree with you, exactly what you just said. I fully agree. You touched on a point of that disconnecting from reality because you don't like the way you look. And that's so prevalent now. It's so common where people are insecure or unhappy with how they appear. And they either make drastic changes by way of plastic surgery or whatever else, or they change their identity. But no one really seems to be happy or just content with who they are. You know, I actually know you are, because not many people get on Instagram with a hairy chest and take videos, right? Legit. I got a hairy chest too. I don't get it out enough, but dead set, it's not some, you're not some buff dude, tan, with all your shit going on, makeup and you're doing it as real and as honest as it is, and that's the beautiful thing about it. But you're not trying to make it into something that it's not. Yeah. And I guess what social media does to everyone is it creates this level of it's fake, right? You see the filters. I couldn't believe some of the filters that make the people look the way that they do.
Yeah, yeah.
And you think, it's insane to think that women go through life, not all women, I shouldn't say women, but some women make all these changes or all these touch-ups just to make a photo get more likes. But really, the reality is that photo is not really them.
Yeah, yeah.
And that shouldn't be the way it is.
Yeah, they're trying to buy into the attention of social media. At the end of the day...
Well, that hit, that boom, 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 boom.
They reckoned it to that hit and your feed like a pokies machine.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
Bro, it's so true.
Well, yeah. That's why it can get addictive for some people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a lot of social media is attention economics. And for some people, the attention kind of equals a validation to what they're doing, to how they look, and all that stuff. What a lot of people, maybe a lot of people do realize is that in real life, like the way we are, if you were to walk out in public, most people aren't like ripped, shredded, and all that stuff. I get a lot of comments telling me I got a shit body, shave you. I'm like, dude, I've been training for years. I'm quite healthy, actually. Your perception has actually been warped on what health actually is.
The way, honestly, I'll be completely honest here. I grew up, I got grey hairs at like 19, right? So like, that's me, right? Pretty grey. I'll get the hat off. Gap tooth from the age of as young as I can remember, with an uncle who was a dentist my whole life, who told me that it will close when I get older, but only for it to get bigger. So dealing with that through school and everything, and I used to colour my hair because my wife's a hairdresser. I used to colour it out of insecurity, thinking I look old. And then I one day woke up to myself and snapped, and I said, "Man, you know what? I'm just accepting it. Why am I even worrying about? I can't change it.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, no matter how much colour I use, no matter how many, it's always going to be grey. I can fix the teeth thing, but then people won't recognise me.
Don't fix the teeth.
No, I'm never going to fix it.
It looks cool.
Never. No, I love it.
It's like Arnie, bro. Arnie had
bro, never getting rid of it. But the hair thing for me, again, there's other people that are far more insecure, and I get it. They have other issues that they're dealing with and whatever else. But I just had to come to terms with it. I didn't get to a point where I'm like, I'm going to cut my head off. Yeah. I was like, fuck, bro, I got grey hair. What am I going to do, shave my head for the rest of my life? No.
Yeah.
Just deal with it. It is what it is. It's who I am. I can't change it.
Yeah.
And that's something what everyone should focus a lot on. Not needing to always be 100% pure all the time and everything has to be fake. Just be real. Like, life can be real.
Yeah.
Like this social media and the integration into our lives.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought in a million years that people would lose their jobs over social media.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Do you remember back when Facebook and all these things weren't as big as they are now?
Yeah.
And people would lose their jobs over posts and things like that.
Yeah.
They go, what? This guy just typed a few things on a keyboard and he's lost his job.
Yeah.
And it's now, the integration of it is so big.
Yeah.
Everything sort of bypasses through social media, one way or another.
And I think one of the main issues with that was shown during the lockdowns.
Yeah.
With the censorship of information, who controlled the flow of information,
right,
where, like,
right.
I wanted to hear the other side. I wanted to hear differing opinions. And someone's like, oh, I don't know if I can say the word. It might make you V hesitant, hesitant. I'm like, yeah, I have a right to listen to another person's opinion.
Exactly.
And I think tech companies have too much control over the flow of information.
Should never be like that. Like, if you need to make an informed decision and you're only shown one side of the coin, if anything, that would make me, which it did, question the other side more. Because why are you shutting it down so much?
Yeah,
if it's so dangerous and you're saying all these things about this virus, which is causing us to literally lose life as we know it for 2 years, let me hear the other side. So at least I know what you're saying. I just need to get an alternative opinion. If I buy a pair of shoes, I'm not just going to buy them. I'm going to, hey, babe, do you reckon these are nice? Yeah, they're all right. Just for shoes.
Yeah.
For shoes, But for something like this, the information became, it was like down a bottleneck. I was like, everything, no, just this. And, the V word was the big one. You couldn't post about it. You couldn't say it. fact check, all this stuff. You got the shadow ban. Dude, but I'd get like 30 people watching my stories. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it was just like I became obsolete from the internet for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I shared a differing opinion. Like, our world's become, that was pretty crazy. And that, if anything, I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes to seeing the other side and getting a differing opinion. Yeah,
I think it opened up a lot of people's eyes to the fact that, how much control some of these people do have, and how much, like, once some governments take control, it makes it very hard to give back. Like, I'm not really into the whole politics thing.
Yeah.
But it's just something I've learned, something I've seen.
No, you're right, man. Like, you give anyone enough control, they will get used to it. And they're not necessarily... it's not that they don't want to give it back, but they've become used to having it. And that's what I feel is going to start to happen, particularly with little things, incremental things that changed and got worse over time. So it's not like, there's a group of people sitting in a room going, we want all these people there, and we want to take all their data. Like, it's not that. It's like, it could be, but I feel like when they've been taking it because there's a greater good that they want to focus on, and they have to sacrifice these little things that we should place value in, because I definitely do. The little liberties that we have, such as freedom of movement and other things, and body autonomy, which we have for everything else except for the V. This is all, this was all the issues that I think we all... What the hell was that? That we all became... I don't know, was that what happened there? But yeah, just being free to have that access to information and being able to just, not necessarily think that they get you, but that's sort of where it was headed anyway. But yeah, it was a crazy 2 years, man.
Yeah.
How did it affect... Did it make your content better? Do you find it because more people were like at home or not doing as much? Or
what it did do for me was that I kind of dialed in a lot of things. I started Teep Muay Thai out of the whole lockdown thing, because I wanted another income. Awesome. I want to have a go at another income. Yeah, I saw gyms were going to get closed, stuff like that. So I brought my Muay Thai trainer. He would come in, train me once a week. Yeah. Right, 2 times a week. I set up a home gym. Training, fitness. Trying to work on the things that I love. That's what I dialed in quite a lot.
Good. That's
good. And I feel like with anyone, particularly guys in particular, I would say that there has to be, like, it's not like the old day. It's not like that, like thousands of years ago, where we were part of a tribe, and me and you would be like, oh, you know what? there's a village over there, so let's go and take it over. And that would give us some ambition and motivation, you know. And our wives would be like, oh, you know, take care,
good luck,
mate, good luck, you know, please, we need some
Come
food.
back.
Yeah. But so these are, you know, obviously we can't do that.
Yeah.
But you have to have conquest in something, whether it be training, martial arts, a business. There has to be this innate desire for conquest. Otherwise, if you wake up and you literally do nothing, what I found was that you start to get very depressed. It becomes hard to sleep. You know, you see a lot of people who are out of jobs, aren't doing nothing. Some of them tend to have sleep. A lot of them tend to have sleep issues. They have depression issues.
Yeah.
You have to have this thing you're working towards. You have to have something you're always trying to conquer. You know, and
that's such a good way of looking at things, man. Because you look at all these motivational things, but you don't actually think about conquering. That's a great word and a great way to put it. That's awesome. Yeah, because if you don't have something to conquer, you're just sort of browsing or just cruising through life.
Exactly. Yeah, it gets very boring. It gets very boring very quick.
And years go faster as you get older. So you'll notice years just start dropping away like that, and you feel like, fuck, what's going on with the time? I'm not utilizing the time. I'm not trying to conquer anything. Just training. I was chatting to my mates the other day, and training with someone, lifting weights with someone. I've done it before. It's great because you have someone else that's actually pushing you.
Yeah.
You can push yourself, and you know you can push yourself. I know I can push myself, but having someone else there, not physically pushing you to spot you or to lift the weight, but just to go, come on, man, let's go, let's go, push it, let's go, and you can tell yourself that, and you can have whatever music going, but having that person with you, that push, that you got this, you can do it, man, makes a world of difference.
Yeah, definitely. I know before I said don't go into it on your own.
Yeah.
But
weight training's different.
Training, like if you got a spotter there, if you got someone helping you out and spotting you, and particularly when they have the knowledge, but particularly someone who pushes you, you can always get those extra 2 reps out of someone.
That's the crucial reps.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have those, when you're battered and broken and you got those extra 2 and you're like, oh, and you can't push it.
Yeah.
If you push it, the conquer word comes in. You're conquering your mental bitch, and you're conquering that physical, I can do it. Because who was it? Was it David Goggins or somebody? They said, when you're tired, you're only 40% tired. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Goggins.
He probably would have said something like that.
He's a freak, that guy. I don't know. He's a fucking crazy guy, that dude. But it was, you're at 40%. When you really feel tired, you're only at 40%.
Yeah.
And having someone there will actually help you unlock those extra percent that will make the difference.
Yeah. There's a quote. My wife told it to me when I first met her. I think it's the right one. It's body not stiff, mind stiff. So we took that a lot into yoga. So a lot of times when we had, because our style of yoga was a very, very strong movement-based style.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier, yeah.
And some people would come in and they'd find it very tough. And we used to tell them, she used to tell them, she was the teacher, body not stiff, mind is stiff, as in you don't believe you can do it, you know. So when you're tired, and a good example was given by Customato, you know, Mike Tyson's old boxing trainer, was that imagine you're in a boxing fight and you're tired and he's tired and you just get that punch in and you see him wobble. You have a sudden surge of energy that's going to go through your mind. I'm going to take this guy out.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're going to have a boost of energy. That's where the mentality, that's where the mental shift comes in. That's why I think David Goggins says that, is that your body does give you these signals they're tired, but you can dig deep and you can push something out. You can push something out. And that's 100%. What Customato used to say. He used to work a lot on the mental side. He believed working on the mental side would cut a fighter's time to learn. He'd make him learn a lot quicker.
I believe that 100%, man. Goggins, I think it was Joe Rogan was talking about it recently, that he ran a marathon with his knees and they were bone on bone, and the doctor said you shouldn't be able to walk, let alone run miles with the state of your knees. Like, he was explaining how much of a savage David Goggins is, and just to hear that, to know that your mind is so strong, your mind is so much more powerful than you believe or than you know, until it's really tested, until you have to test it.
Yeah.
And getting into that conquering aspect is so huge. It's so important. It's the little things, like even just the 1%ers, like cold showers, training every day, eating better, sleeping at a decent hour. These are little things that are helping you conquer whatever it is. But it's little incremental things that are just going to help you get better and improve. Man, it's especially after the last couple of years, it's the focus should definitely be on health. And me alone anyway, I've definitely put a big emphasis on it, just changing the way I do things.
Yeah, with the whole increments 1%, I read a book. I think it was called Atomic Habits.
Oh yeah,
and
awesome
talked
book.
about. Have you read it?
Yeah, I have,
about the British coach,
yeah,
the bike. He broke
that's
it
right.
down into the little compartments on how to move a bike, and he tried to increase each.
So he
by
made
1%.
he made the seat better and the pants better and aerodynamic this and changed.
Yeah.
So the book it shows you how the little. Sorry, go ahead. You say, bro.
Yeah, I know. So he done that. All I was just going to go on to was that a lot of times the lives that I do on TikTok, I get a lot of people who are training Muay Thai. Not fighters. Some they want to be fighters, but at this stage that they're training, and they ask me questions about, because I'm 38 and my body feels better than it has ever before because of the yoga, because of the weight training, and they go to me, oh, what should I do? And I tell them, look, my specialty is more the longevity part. How can we get you doing what you do for much longer? Right?
So you can still be
longer.
training till you're 60 and knock people out if you have to.
Yeah, so you can be one of those old guys that you see some punk kid and you give him a left, right. But
you seen that video of the old dude sparring with that young guy?
Yeah, I've seen it.
How good is it?
In the boxing ring?
I can't find it out.
No, I know what you're talking about.
He just lights him up, man. He starches him. It's great. It's fun.
Yeah.
Good video.
But what I tend to say in those is that outside of your training, right, if you want to take this serious, and you 100% should take this serious, training, Muay Thai, you should take something of a savage movement serious.
Yeah.
You know, because it's very primal. It calls to the most primal part in you, because I can imagine for most people in their day, they're kind of getting told what to do.
From everything, man.
Yeah.
So true. You never think about it.
They're just sitting there thinking, someone's telling me what to do, and I'm probably there thinking that I could just, if I wanted to, I could knock you the F out right now. So you go and do that at a Muay Thai gym. You go and train at a Muay Thai gym. But what I tell them is that, get your sleeping right. 7 to 9 hours, deep sleep. Make sure you eat enough protein, 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilo of your body weight. Do your mobility training. Do your weight training. This is if you want to just put health first. If you want to be a fighter, that's not my field. I say them. This is something different now. Your main objective is to win. You got a problem in front of you, which is the person that you're going to fight in however long, 6 months. Now you got to work to solve that issue. Yeah, there.
Different type altogether.
Completely different.
Yeah.
And that's why with fighters, I respect every single person that goes into the ring. It takes balls, it takes guts. It's literally the most riskiest, the most absolute riskiest path you could do, and you have to have a complete warrior mindset to do it, because I believe only a full warrior, in the most purest warrior, would take the most riskiest path in life, a path where even after you're not guaranteed anything, and after the fight career ends, and it will come to an end, you're managing crippling injuries, chronic arthritis, potentially your brain health as well, a shorter lifespan. It's a complete warrior mindset. So that's a different one altogether.
No, I've dead set. I've fallen in love with MMA over the last sort of 10 years or so. And that part that you mentioned, exactly like the risk for reward. I've said it before in this show, bro, so many times. These fighters put so much on the table, whether they're amateurs or pros, whether they're boxing, MMA, Muay Thai, doesn't matter. They put so much on the table, on the line. They got to cut weight. They got to go through camp. They got to do all this stuff. They got to put in the work. And if they make one mistake, if they step wrong, if they trip, if they do something wrong, and this other fighter seizes that opportunity, it's over.
Yeah.
And they may be able to fight again. Whatever happens afterwards happens. But just for that moment, that it's not like a soccer game where they score the goal and you just take the ball out of net and run to halfway and kick off again. You don't get to do it again. That's it. That's pretty much, most fighters only get to fight that dude at one time, unless it's a great fight and they want to run it back or whatever happens down the track. Yeah. But there is so much on the table for such little reward. And it takes a warrior to fucking do it, man. Because it's the riskiest, probably one of the scariest things anyone can do, when a cage locks and a guy goes, yep, fight.
Yeah, and especially when everyone's watching you.
And everyone's watching.
And everything is exposed. If you haven't been training, it gets exposed.
This guy could kick the shit out of your leg and you couldn't walk for a week. Yeah. This guy could fly kick you in the mouth and not wake up for 20 minutes.
I've seen some terrible stuff.
Bro, man, when you talked about fighters' health, you just think about so many good, like Diego Sanchez, just kept fighting for years afterwards, after. And he was just deteriorating. You could see the poor guy, and he would go in there fighting, put everything in the ring, just punch on until one person's crippled or not walk, one person's out cold. You know, it's such a difficult sport, and that's why when you're training it, as what you're doing, or you watch people that train it, it's such a beautiful sport because there's so much to it. Particularly like I said with MMA, I like it just because there is so much that you have to focus on or do in that short period of time. From wrestling, rolling, you know,
MMA's hard.
Oh, dude, so much. Yeah. You know, the wrestling is what's really tough. That's the gas. That's what takes your gas tank.
Yeah.
I guess you could stand and throw, you know, for 15, but throw wrestling into that where you're exerting so much body energy. And, oh man, you got to be so fit.
And tremendous amount of athleticism.
Definitely,
in wrestling.
That's what makes it great, man. That the sport of combat, or combat sport, martial arts in general. It's a different level of that, and that primal nature comes out, and that's really what I want my kids to grow up enjoying. Not necessarily, I don't want them to be, you know, the big bully who can knock people out. It's just in respecting people more, and I felt when I started to get into it more, I felt that the respect became bigger. It was much bigger than I ever thought. You'd always think people get into martial arts because they want to have that, you know, I can knock you the fuck out mentality. But you don't get it, man. Everyone's so chill. You get a couple of cowboys as you go anywhere. But in general, particularly with BJJ, everyone is just so friendly.
You probably know the consequences of violence.
Definitely.
It was something I listened to for us as a hobby, GSP's trainer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it. He talks about
I haven't listened to that, no.
With Joe Rogan, he talks about how if you train, fight, whatever, right, you know the consequences of violence.
Yeah.
You know that if you get into a one-on-one with someone, right, they could knock you out, they could snap your nose, break your orbital bones. He was saying a lot of untrained people don't know that. And that's why some of them, sometimes they do the shit that they do, right? Because they don't know that, hey, if this could end extremely badly for you.
They don't think about the other side.
No.
They think about themselves, but they don't think that the other person could, light them up.
Yeah,
so true.
Exactly, yeah. That, and he was talking about his various run-ins he's had with people who look like clearly that they've never had a fight in their life. But, one of the things that I found with martial arts in particular is that it really forges such a warrior mindset. Yeah. Right. Everything from your training, your eating, your sleeping, and it really puts you on down this path of, it's down this path of discipline, right? Where you're doing it for yourself and you're testing yourself, right? And you're going through the battles, you're going through the hurdles, and that's what makes it so amazing. And that's what I'm trying to get out to a lot of people, because rather than like being 18, 19 and drinking and partying, which is what I did. Everyone 18, 19.
Did that, yeah.
Like, go down this path, man, and you'll meet amazing people. You'll live an amazing life. Go to Thailand. Go to the Muay Thai camps in Thailand. Go around Thailand. Go train at different Muay Thai camps. Train your ass off when you're young, and your body can withstand like quite a lot. Yeah,
man, that's good advice, because the years will catch up, and the body will start to do different things. And mate, if you put the work in when you're young, it makes a massive difference. If I could go back to when I was 19, fuck, different. I used to be I was pretty healthy. I'm still pretty healthy now.
Yeah.
At 19, I could have made some massive changes, which, just creating good habits with just, one thing was just training. And that's one thing I'll push onto my boys, that just get into a habit of training. Just work on something. Doesn't matter if you're sparring, if you're lifting weights, or if you're kicking just train. Just train. Get better. Focus on getting better. Because, man, that's all it's about.
That's that conquering aspect. It needs to be instilled in everyone.
Conquering, man, because you have to. You got to conquer. Everyone has that inner bitch. I've heard on Instagram all the time, but it's so true. Our inner bitch is the biggest player when it comes to making good decisions and bad decisions.
Yeah.
And even when it comes to making life decisions. Have your inner bitch under control, and your decision process becomes easy. You know how to navigate better because you're the one dictating the shots. Your brain isn't telling you, oh, you can't do it, or even if it is, you can tell, I can do it, and I will do it. But yeah, man, look, this has been a really good chat. I'm glad we finally got to do it, Chris. Teep Muay Thai. So for those that want to jump on and have a look, Teep Muay Thai on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, but you've got a TikTok page.
Yeah, so it's the same thing across all. Teep Muay Thai, spaces in between. Yeah. TikTok, Instagram. The YouTube is the same as the Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, awesome.
You can just follow one of them, and it's your daily dose of martial arts entertainment.
It's good. I love it.
Showing the lighter side of a savage sport. Warriors in Gardens. That's the other one.
Warriors in Gardens.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it, man. Nah, it's awesome, Chris. I love what you're doing, man, and I really appreciate you coming down, and it's been really good to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris. Thanks a lot.